It has been a popular concept in personal and professional growth over the last decade or so to know your why. The concept encourages people to think not just about what you do, but more importantly, why you do it. You can find lots of good resources explaining this concept. My favorite was presented to me in a college philosophy class. My philosophy professor told us a story about a time when the university had asked him to teach an introduction to philosophy class to accounting majors. He played up that there could not be a less interested group of philosophers than 18-year-old aspiring accountants. However, he persevered. On the first day of class, he would ask them, "Why do you want to be an accountant?" They would give obvious answers such as, "It pays pretty well," and then he would rattle off 10 other professions that also paid pretty well. They would talk about job security, and he would rattle off 10 other professions that also had job security, and back and forth like this for a while, until somebody finally got frustrated and said, "If you're so smart, why don't you tell us why we want to be accountants?" Of course, this is what he had been waiting for. And so then he would explain, because if I handed you a box full of crumpled up, disorganized receipts and invoices, and you started sorting them out and started putting them in a spreadsheet and made it all organized, and then had this nice, clean total at the bottom of profits or losses, you find that beautiful. Inevitably, he said, they all agreed. They all knew what they wanted to be, but they had not stopped to think about why they wanted to do that. Today, our liturgy presents us with both a what and a why. In just a few moments, our catechumens here in these front pews will come forward for what we call the first scrutiny. We will get to witness their second and third scrutinies in the next few weeks. These catechumens, as well as our additional candidates for full initiation into the church, are joined by more than 30,000 others around the United States coming to the church this Easter. This presents us with a clear what. Our what is that despite popular opinion in the outside world, all are welcome in the Catholic Church. This welcome is reflected in today's gospel. In the gospel, we have the familiar story of the woman at the well. She is a Samaritan, and normally no Jew would speak to a Samaritan. She is also a woman, and Jesus is a man, which would also normally restrict their conversation. She knows that the Jews tie worship of God to the temple, and she is not welcome there. She also has a complicated background, likely through some bad luck, but also because of poor choices on her part. Yet despite all that, she is welcome with Jesus. Today in our parish, around the diocese and around the world, we will see candidates come forward with different ethnic backgrounds, come to this altar for the scrutiny. They will be of different ages. There will be different socioeconomic classes. There will be both men and women, and there will be different reasons that have kept them from being here before today. Some out of their control, some by choice. Yet, despite all of these differences, they are welcome here. All are welcome in the church founded by Jesus Christ. Yet this welcome forces us to confront an important why. Why be Catholic at all? Each of these candidates and catechumens have been wrestling with the why. Why should I join the Catholic Church? They have a why for why they first joined the process months ago or even years ago. They have a why for why they will come stand up here today. They will continue to refine their why all the way to Easter Vigil as they receive all the sacraments that they need to be fully initiated into the church. But answering why for those times does not stop once the sacraments are received. It is an important question for all of us. Do you know your why? Do you know why you are Catholic? Some of us can say yes right away. You've thought about this often and you can answer it very clearly. Some of us used to have a good answer, especially those who did go through RCIA in the past. But do you still? Has it changed? Does the reason still exist? Some of us have never thought about it. This is most likely those of us who are cradle Catholics. If someone asked you why you are Catholic, what answer would you give? In our world that is growing more and more hostile towards authentic Catholic faith, would your why hold up to scrutiny? if someone pressed you on it? This question is the reason that we have scrutinies like today. The word scrutiny and its related word scrutinize originally meant to sort through rubbish looking for something of value. Literally going through the trash so you can see if you find something worth keeping. The candidates and catechumens who will stand before us today for their first scrutiny have been sorting through the rubbish that the world has to offer and have found something of true value in the Catholic Church. Those of us who are born and raised Catholic may never have sorted through the rubbish. Have you tested your faith as deeply as these candidates have? If not, it is time. Our psalm today presents us with an important call to action. If today you hear his voice, harden not your heart. Our world is full of noise, and most of it is rubbish. As Christians, we must sort through the noise and find what is of true value. The only thing of real, lasting value in all that noise is the voice of God. But if we do not practice distinguishing his valuable voice from the rubbish that surrounds it, we can miss him calling us. Each of these candidates and catechumens will fervently continue to sift through the rubbish in the coming weeks. They will remain focused on trying to hear the voice of God and keeping their hearts softened, receptive to his call. We must do the same. It is still Lent. Jesus is still doing battle with the devil in the desert. Soon he will do battle in the garden and under the weight of the cross, and we must do the same. 2 weeks of Lent are behind us. 4 still remain. Double down on your sacrifices, whether it is prayer, fasting, or almsgiving, because those sacrifices help us clear out the noise, clear out the rubbish that the world offers us. They help you to know your why for your what. You are welcome in the church. Lent is a time to remind yourself why you come. The deepening prayer, fasting, and almsgiving soften our hearts to the voice of God, as the voice of Jesus softened the heart of the woman at the well. Force yourself to spend time in quiet, even if that quiet can only be found inside your own heart. Use this time of Lent to focus on both your what and your why. Know why you are here. Know why you get up on a Sunday morning and come to a Catholic church. Know why you follow the church's teachings and all of those days in between. Today, you will hear the voice of God. Let his voice rise above the noise and harden not your heart.